All right, let's jump into another deep dive. Today, some ancient drama, but with some seriously modern-day applications. We're opening up the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 18.
Yeah.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
King Saul, young David, fresh off his victory over Goliath.
Right.
And the beginning of a relationship that goes very, very wrong.
It definitely does.
Jealousy, loyalty, power struggles, it's all there.
Yeah. It's fascinating how this chapter kind of flips the script, you know?
Yeah.
We just saw David as this underdog hero.
Right.
And then suddenly, boom, he's facing a whole new kind of enemy.
Right.
From inside, like from within the court that's celebrating him.
Yeah, that's like the honeymoon is totally over before it even begins.
Right.
David's super popular. Everyone's singing his praises.
Yeah.
Saul starts to feel, well, how would you feel if someone you were supposed to be mentoring was suddenly, like, outshining you?
Yeah.
It's got to be tough, right?
It's going to be tough. And Saul's reaction, well, it's not pretty. It's raw jealousy. And it starts to actually warp his actions.
Yeah.
We're talking about a king, right?
Yeah.
Used to immense power. But that power, you know, coupled with his insecurity, turns dangerous.
Yeah.
It's a cautionary tale what happens when ego and fear take over.
And it's not like David is doing anything to make it worse. You know, he's just being David, loyal, humble, doing what he's asked.
Right.
But the more David succeeds, the more threatened Saul feels. It gets so bad, Saul actually tries to kill David.
Wow.
With a javelin.
With a javelin, yeah. That's where we see the psychological complexity here.
Yeah.
Saul is convinced David is a threat to his throne.
Right.
Even though David has never, ever shown any ambition for power.
Right.
This fear leads him to make, you know, irrational and destructive choices.
Of course, yeah.
It raises the question, what are the Sauls in our own lives? Those fears and insecurities that drive us to maybe react in ways that ultimately harm us.
That's a really good point. And speaking of harmful reactions, let's talk about Saul's next idea. Offering his daughter, Michal, to David in marriage.
Oh, okay.
Seems like a win-win, right?
Yeah, I guess, except
Saul adds a deadly catch.
Yeah. Oh.
He demands 100 Philistine foreskins as a dowry.
Oh, wow.
Basically sending David on a suicide mission.
Yeah, disguised as a romantic gesture.
Yeah. This shows how far Saul's jealousy has pushed him.
Right.
He's willing to risk his own daughter's happiness and David's life, all to cling to his own power.
It's pretty messed up.
But David, being David, he pulls it off. He doesn't just bring 100, he brings back 200.
200, wow.
You have to admire his, tenacity.
You do.
But in a way, it's kind of tragic.
Yeah.
Every victory for David just pushes Saul further into paranoia and resentment.
It's a reminder that sometimes, even when we do everything right,
Yeah.
we can still face opposition.
That's
It
true.
really highlights the importance of staying true to our values, even when the people in power, are acting against us.
And it makes you wonder, like, what if Saul had someone in his life,
Yeah.
a trusted advisor or a really close friend
Right.
who could have challenged his thinking, helped him see things more clearly.
Someone to call him out.
Yeah. Someone to say, hey, what are you doing?
Exactly. Offer a different perspective.
That brings us to the bright spot in all this.
Okay.
The relationship between David and Jonathan, Saul's son. Talk about true friendship.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's the ultimate loyalty test, right? You've got this close friend, but their dad, the king, is trying to kill you. What do you do?
I know, it's crazy. Jonathan's actions, though, they really speak volumes. He doesn't just, recognize David's integrity. He actively supports him,
Yeah.
even risking his relationship with his own father.
Right.
It's a model for true friendship, putting someone else first, even when it's tough.
It makes you think about the people you surround yourself with.
Totally.
Do you have those Jonathans in your life? The ones who celebrate your wins, no envy, who stick by you when things get rough.
Yeah, it's rare, but when you find it, it's gold.
It really is.
And you know this contrast, right?
Yeah.
Jonathan's support, Saul's jealousy.
Right.
It highlights something crucial. We have a choice in how we react to other people's success.
Yeah, that's true.
We can let it fuel our insecurities, or we can choose to celebrate and learn from them.
It's like, what's that saying? A rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly.
But sometimes, when you're the one feeling threatened,
It's hard.
it's hard to see it that way.
It is, and that's where self-awareness comes in, right?
That's right.
Recognizing those triggers, those moments when envy or resentment pops up, that's key.
Yeah.
Asking yourself, why am I feeling this way?
Right.
What insecurity is this bringing up? Once you get that, you can start dealing with it in a healthy way.
So back to the story. We've got Saul spiraling, David getting wins despite the danger, and Jonathan stuck in the middle. What happens next?
Well, Saul gets even more desperate to get rid of David. He sends him on these super dangerous military campaigns,
Oh, wow.
hoping he won't come back. Classic manipulative leadership.
Yeah.
Using someone's loyalty for your own messed up ends.
And it's such a betrayal, you know,
Totally.
especially since David keeps proving his loyalty over and over. It's like he passes every test, but Saul just keeps moving the goalposts.
That's so true. It's something a lot of people experience, not just in like ancient kingdoms.
Right.
Sometimes no matter what you do, it's not enough for some people. Their own issues stop them from acknowledging your success.
So what do? Just keep our heads down and hope for the best.
Not necessarily. It's about realizing you can't control other people's reactions,
True.
but you can control your response.
Okay.
David shows us it's possible to stay true to yourself even when someone's trying to undermine you.
Choosing the high road,
Right.
even when you want to fight back.
Exactly. And it's not always easy, but it's more fulfilling having that internal compass guiding you no matter the pressure.
It's making me think about my own work, you know? What about you?
Definitely a reminder that success comes with challenges. And how we deal with them, let them eat us up or grow from them, it shows our character.
Well said. So going into the last part of our deep dive, we've got David standing strong despite Saul's attacks.
Right.
What can we learn from his resilience? How does this all end?
Well, that's what we'll find out as we get into the conclusion of this chapter. We'll explore the impact of David's integrity and also, Saul's downfall.
Welcome back to the final part. I am really curious to see how this whole thing ends. We've got David, like the ultimate rising star, but everyone wants him gone. And Saul, just so jealous he's making really bad choices.
Yeah, it's a classic power struggle. But what makes it so interesting is, the psychology.
Right.
It's not about just the throne. It's about us, human nature. You see power, you see envy, and you see the strength of just doing the right thing.
I think that's why this story still matters today, thousands of years later. These problems aren't just ancient history. They're still around.
Exactly.
We all deal with them.
Yeah.
Our jobs, our relationships, our own lives.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Think about it.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt jealous when someone else is doing well?
Yeah.
Or, seen someone in charge using their power the wrong way? These are old problems, and this story shows us how to think about them.
Okay, so let's go back to David.
Right.
He's in a tough spot. His mentor's now his enemy. He's always looking over his shoulder. But he never loses his way morally. How?
It's his values. He could lash out, try to get revenge, or grab power for himself, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
He stays loyal to Saul, even though it's dangerous for him. And he keeps serving, doing the right thing.
It's amazing. Wouldn't you be tempted to fight back? Like, enough is enough.
I think anyone would. But holding back like David did, that's real wisdom. It shows that real strength isn't always about fighting or revenge. Sometimes it's about standing up for what you believe in, even when everything's going wrong.
It's like playing the long game. Being true to yourself, even when it's hard. Knowing that doing the right thing will work out in the end.
Yeah, exactly. This story doesn't have all the answers, but it shows a powerful way to handle tough situations.
Right.
It makes us ask, what do we believe in enough to fight for? Where is our line? What won't we do?
I think that's the real lesson here. It's not just about kings and power struggles. It's about how we can be great, but also how we can mess up. It makes us look at our own Saul side.
Right.
Envy, insecurity, using power the wrong way. And then it shows us the David path, honesty, toughness, and doing what's right.
And it reminds us that our choices affect other people. Like what Saul did hurt his whole kingdom, his family. Our decisions matter. They reach everyone around us. We got to be careful with power, use it wisely and kindly.
Well said. So, finishing up our deep dive, I'm thinking about how complicated people are and how these stories teach us so much. I'm going to be thinking about David and Saul for a while. What about you?
Me too. And maybe next time we have a tough choice to make, or we got to do the right thing, we can remember them and choose what will make us stronger, better people.
That's a great point. Thanks for being with us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and make good choices that make the world a better place.